What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to the Punk Rock Review. Rob's having some technical difficulties. His computer is thoroughly upset with him today, so he's using his phone. This episode is going to be fun. Let me preface what we're fixing to say with this idea was something that I had a similar idea like a year ago, and I never followed through with it. And then I was watching, or I wasn't even watching. I was like scrolling through YouTube, and I saw that channel Punk Rock Radar did a video. Basically, we're just copying their idea because it was similar enough to what I was thinking to where I was like, oh, they actually did it. I thought it wouldn't work. And but this may be the only one we do because it was a lot harder to do than we maybe thought at the beginning of this. So I just want to give credit where it's due. Punk Rock Radar actually had this idea before I did. It was just similar to one that I thought of before. And I think we're going to go with the idea I had before because it's much easier. But this is what.
And shout out to those guys. They did 5 songs a piece too. So they
That's
had a much
insane, dude. Like
harder task
yeah,
than doing this. Yeah.
yeah. So I'll be honest. I didn't even watch their video because I didn't want to get ideas from it. I just saw the title and was like, oh, I had an idea similar to that, and I didn't do it, and I was just disappointed that I didn't pull the trigger. But anyways, like I said, man, credit where credit is due. Those guys did it. They do a lot of content. We're very different channels, but I do get inspired by some of their stuff, and they're good dudes. I've talked to them many times. They're class act guys. So go check out Punk Rock Radar, especially if you like the skate punk epiphat stuff more. Like that, if that's your jam, Punk Rock Radar is a great channel. So not so sure where they stand on like the more street punk crusty stuff, but that's probably more my jam than theirs, I would think.
If you used to like my content, then you will definitely like their content, I would say.
That's a good point. Yeah, if you know Rob's old channel that he's this kind of inactive on these days, you'll probably like their channel. But yeah, like I said, they're good dudes, man. Cool guys. They have a little label like I do, so shout out to those guys. They're out there putting in the work too. But this is going to be. I didn't say what it was. I'm over rambling.
Yeah, what a lead up.
Great albums that have a bad song on them. The thing is that this is an incredibly subjective conversation. So I personally am absolutely going to piss a bunch of you guys off. So feel free to roast me in the comments. I was writing my notes out, and the whole time I was like, this is going to be bad. Like, I was just like, I'm going to get flamed. So my big mama jamma is just going to let you guys know it's coming at the end of the video because I think we'll start with Rob and we'll go bounce back and forth. What do you think? Cool. So yeah, what's up, man? What's the great album?
All right. So ironically, and I didn't do this on purpose, but I have everything we're going to talk about today. I actually have on vinyl and listened to over the weekend
nice.
as I was gathering it. Yeah. And I think that fits in the theme, right? With great albums. So when I think about great albums and I think about punk, I think about kind of where it all started with the Ramones' initial album.
Oh, what? Let's go, dude.
Okay, and I love the Ramones. I have kids named after the Ramones. That's a shoot, brother. And there was a few other Ramones songs I thought I might hit, but all of those turned out to be covers. So I was like, okay, I don't like those songs, but they didn't really write them. And then I went through and I was like, okay, that's a flawless record. Let me put it on. Is there anything on here I don't like? And then I realized it was so obvious. It's been obvious to me since I was a kid. I Want to Be Your Boyfriend. I hate that song. That's not true. I don't hate that song. As soon as I said it, I felt stupid.
I knew that's the song you were going to pick.
But it's just kind of corny and like it's corny and cute. And maybe, yeah, you might have put it on the mixtape one time. That did happen. But still, like, compared to, like, Chainsaw and the Blitzkrieg Bop and Beat on the Brat, I Want to Be Your Boy. And again, I like the Ramones when they're doing, like, their lover boy kind of cool stuff. They do that well. This is a bad version of them doing it. Everyone says the Ramones got it all right on the first album, and I largely agree with that, except for this one song. They got better at writing love songs. Maybe like as they actually met girls and became a little more noteworthy and stuff, they learned how to write the songs a little bit better. So I Want to Be Your Boyfriend. That's always the skip on that album, if there is a skip. It's a pretty good song, yeah, but it bugs me.
I'm right there with you, bro. I want to be your boyfriend. Oh, like I'm good, bro. Like nope. Like although I'll say there's probably a time and place where I will want to hear that song, but like on a daily basis, I'm getting rid of that one too, man. I'm just like, I'm good.
It's a cool tune. It's not a great Ramones song, I think is what it is,
Valid. I like that. I like.
And people would probably argue that it's not it's very much is, but like the spirit of that album, I don't think it fits with it as I think maybe on a later Ramones album, it might even fit a little bit better. But just right here, it was them not. I think they were still finding themselves, even if they had their best album at their first album. So, yeah, there you go. There's the first Sacred Cow we took out.
Well, I got another one coming up here in a second. So, what is your what's your favorite song on that album? Do you have one? Some people don't, man.
Yeah, I do. It's probably 53rd and 3rd's a big one for me.
Man, that's probably been mine.
And then it's just those first three. You know, the Blitzkrieg, Beat on the Brat, and Judy is a Punk. I love the other big one is Listen to My Heart, which I think is again, that's kind of more of a corny, more pop punky type of song, but I think they just pulled that one off a little bit.
I agree with that. I think that they pulled that off better too. And it's funny too, because I think we agree 100% on this album actually, because they have one of the strongest starts in punk history with Blitzkrieg, Beat on the Brat, Judy is a Punk, and then it just comes to a screeching halt with I Want to Be Your Boyfriend. Chainsaw's fine, but then it goes into like I want to sniff some glue. I want to go down. I don't want to go down to the basement. Like Loudmouth. Dude, what are we talking about? These songs are great. This album is fantastic.
Fairly classics. Yeah. So it's just that one. I think is just significantly weaker than the rest of the tracks.
Dude, that's hilarious. I did not think you were going to bust out a Ramones record. I'll be honest. I'm still a little bit shocked.
I'm going to do my penance and apologies. Marky, you can forgive me, please.
Let's see here. So we got... Okay, so we're going to go back in time right around the time the Ramones started. We're going to go with Never Mind the Bollocks. Here's the Sex Pistols. Okay, so the thing is that this album, at least in my circles, is often cited as a perfect 10 out of 10 record. This album spawned most of the music that I love to this day. I would say if you add this and the Clash together, you can basically get almost anything that I love. Almost. Not everything, but almost. Is a derivative of those two bands, especially their early material with the Clash. But this album starts off so good. It's 12 songs. It's just under 40 minutes. So back in the day, 12 songs, 40 minutes was basically perfect. It's a little long to me now. And then, so here's the thing. You get guitar tone that I still love to this day. Vocal style that I still love to this day. I don't like Johnny Rotten, but he was a great vocalist for this kind of music. And then they also spawned our style with our clothing and such. Right now, granted, they didn't come up with it, but they wore it. If they hadn't worn it, we wouldn't have the style of, like, let's say the Briefs or the U.S. Bombs. None of that stuff would exist. Or at least it would have come out at a different time and place. It would probably be quite different, I think. This album is just about perfect. And then you flip it over to the B-side, and you're scrolling through the B-side, and you get to the one song that everybody knows by the Sex Pistols. What song do you think that is?
It's Anarchy in the UK. If it's like
correct, sir. That song blows chunks so hard. I hate that song. I hate that song. It's so stupid. Because, okay, so here's the thing. For years and years and years, and it's weird because, like, I think that I'm changing as a person as I get older and as I learn more about politics and I get more involved with my local communities, and I have a small business and I've got a family and I've got a community here. I think I've never been a Democrat. I've been a liberal. Those are different things. I think I'm an anarchist, and I just never really understood what anarchy really meant. But that song has been used in the wrong way so many times, and I've heard it so many times. It's lost any kind of it's no longer like Sonic the Hedgehog, bro. It looks like a cue ball, bro. It is soft and smooth all the way around. It don't hurt nobody, dude. It's not an abrasive song, and it's just overplayed. They don't. I think that when it was made, it's made for probably the right reasons with the right things in mind. I just think that the way that the song is used, it's just one of those songs that it's not the band's fault. It just is what it is. I hate that song. I can't even listen to it, bro. When I listen to this album, I literally skip that song. I'm like, nope, no, I don't want to hear it. But God Save the Queen, I'll still listen to. I think I've heard that song probably one for every 3 times I've heard Anarchy in the UK. That song's been in movies, commercials, you name it. But that's another thing, dude. Why is that song in commercials, bro? Like, what are we talking about? Why is that song in movies? it shouldn't be. Well, I guess a punk rock movie maybe, but like that song, coincidentally, might be the first punk song I ever heard as well, because Megadeth covered it, and I remember hearing that probably before I ever heard any punk. So it's simultaneously probably my entry to the genre and one of my top 5 least favorite songs, period, in the genre. Anyways, what are your thoughts on Sex Pistols?
Well, I'm a big fan of this album. I had it when I was a kid on CD. I became a real big fan of like reading books about Sid Vicious when I was in high school. So there's a photo of me in the yearbook reading a Sex Pistols biography when I was supposed to be working on classwork.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I was always very into that, and it's really easy to get into the Sex Pistols because it's only one album.
Right.
I've always liked Anarchy in the UK. I understand everything you're saying. It is one of those sort of mascot punk songs too, and in any genre, those songs you can get kind of like numb to. And I don't know if I necessarily agree or disagree with your takes on it, but it's funny because I do think of some of the other versions of this song. There's the Megadeth version. Motley Crue of old bands has a really good version of Anarchy in the UK, which I think it's just, and I would say the Megadeth version and the Motley Crue version are just recorded, 10 years after this one, a little bit stronger bands. So I just think those versions do sound. I've always preferred those versions of this song. As just my own little thing that I've always had a thing. I think the thing with politics and the Pistols is like one of the messiest things in all of like punk rock. Like if we really were to go back and look at what it was, what it is now, the authenticity of it, and the importance of it, like the influence of it. It's a very messy topic that I don't think anyone's really like tackled fully because I think we feel bad taking out like these legends in that kind of way, and so
I agree with what you're saying. And here's the thing: is like if I'm at like a party or a club and a song comes on, do I stomp out of the room and go, "Oh, I can't"? No, dude, of course not. But like when I'm in charge of music, man, I just don't like the song. I don't listen to it. And if I was 15 still, would I be saying this? Of course not. When I was 15, I loved this song. This is something that I was like looking through albums. I was like, I even Googled like classic punk albums just to go like see what am I not seeing? Like, what am I missing here? Like, I was having a hard time finding a third pick. And I was like, and so I saw this album and I thought, I wonder if there's any kind of, fat to trim on Nevermind the Bollocks. And I was like, I don't think there is. And then I like pulled it up. And as soon as the track listing came up, I went, oh, wait a minute. No, I hate that song. I don't even listen to that track, dude. Again, is it an objectively good song? I think it's fine. I think it's good. I think messy is the correct descriptive word to describe like the Sex Pistols' relationship with politics and punk rock in general.
Mm-hmm.
But I think punk was a completely different thing in 1977 than it is now. It just is what it is. But again, this is kind of a cheeky conversation anyways. I think like you said earlier, you even put I Want to Be Your Boyfriend on a mixtape at some point. Like, do we really hate these songs enough to want to actually cut them out of a re-release of the record? No, dude, that's ridiculous. Like, but for conversation's sake, the song is kind of whack, bro. I don't like it. And I bet there's a lot of punk rockers that are gonna be like, yeah, dude, Sex Pistols in general kind of suck, and which I don't agree with that, but I could see.
I love that we literally just took out the two like cornerstone bands of the entire thing we talk about.
Dude, but in 10 minutes we just
the Deftones
pissed
do
off
that
our
where
whole...
they re-released an album without one of the hits on it because they didn't want it on there in the first place, I think, or something like that.
Wait, what?
Didn't the Deftones do that with like White Pony where they didn't release back to School because the label made them make the song in the first place, so when they re-released it they didn't have it. I like the idea of like them having some kind of issue and re-releasing this without Anarchy in the UK.
Dude, that would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious. I'm thinking of like it's like Metallica re-releasing the Black Album and it doesn't have Enter Sandman on it, and people are just confused.
Wow. Actually, I would buy both of those records because I don't like Enter Sandman either. I should have picked that record.
Enter Sandman is what I was thinking of when you were talking about, because that's kind of the mascot song of metal in that same. Again, not a bad song. I've just heard it 9,000 times, and everyone else kind of knows it too. So again, it's like you said,
that's the Anarchy in the UK of Metallica.
Yeah. We covered two genres in one topic there.
Bro, that's funny, dude. All right, man. Moving on to your next pick. What I'm excited to hear this.
Okay. So now let's see this. Let's go chronological. Let me see which one came out exactly first. Oh, okay. So again, let's go to the 90s. I couldn't find anything in the 80s. I did. I was looking for like there's Black Flag stuff I don't like, but none of it's on like the albums that I really love. The Descendants didn't really have that for me. Like a miss can be a miss, but it doesn't really stand out. So I thought, you know what? I know which band was going to do this, and it was not on the albums that I thought it was going to be. I'm going to go after the beloved Bad Religion, and again, great album, iconic album. One of, this thing is fun all the time around here. One day, I'm going to try to get a tattoo of this whole thing right over here. I have a little drawing of it over here. However, the first song, great. What do we got here? Modern Man, classic.
Great
classic.
song.
This is the follow-up to Suffer, right? It's one of the greatest punk rock albums ever. And then right after Modern Man, we go to Turn on the Light, and I want to turn off the freaking radio when I hear that song. I hate that song. I don't know what it is. In my mind, Dr. Graffin is singing that song, and there's no instrumentation in the background. I know there is, but I can only hear him say, turn out the light, turn out the light. And look, a lot of Bad Religion is like very gospel and opera kind of inspired because of their background. So a lot of their music, if you strip away the punk elements, has that to it. It's what makes it good. But occasionally it could, veer off into being a little kind of corny. And Bad Religion has a lot of classic rock vibes to them as well. The members are big classic rock, like true fans. And for whatever reason, that song, I don't know if it gives me the vibe of like some kind of horrible rock from the 70s that would have been on like some lame guy's radio as he was going on a date. He'd be listening like, turn on the light. I don't know. Whatever it is, I just picture Bad Religion like doing yacht rock or something, and I don't like that song. That song drives me crazy.
All right, hold on one second. So I don't know, man, because whenever you said that, I was like, oh man, I'm not a giant Bad Religion fan. I think that's kind of well documented down here. Mm-hmm. I like them. I'm not as big a fan as everybody else is, right? And I own some of their records. I'm not like hating on the band, but Against the Grain, I think is a pretty great record. But when you said that, I was like, Turn on the Light. I think that's a song I like a lot. And so I pulled up the playlist, and sure enough, it's on my personal playlist. And that's why I was laughing so hard, because I was like, oh, this bastard got me.
Well, it's funny because I've done the thing where you try to validate yourself when you go through the internet, just trying to find things that agree with you. And I've done that with this song where I've gone on the YouTube video, I see like the comments to be like, oh, this, and it's just like, oh, it takes me back, this and that. I'm like, oh, I'm the only one that I think has like, I think it's like a beloved song by like Bad Religion fans. Again, the second song on one of their huge albums, and it missed me.
That's hilarious, dude. So okay, what's your favorite on the album, or do you have one?
Oh, so I think Anesthesia might be it's in the range of my favorite Bad Religion songs ever. So, oh yeah, that's a tough one. So that I think the A side on this is great. Other than the song I just threw under the bus, but that stretch at the end with Anesthesia, Flattered Society, and Faith Alone, I think is just great. And then there's the other song, I can't remember which is the one. Oh, and then a really weird deep cut is Unacceptable. It's like a 10 parts per million. Unacceptable. It's just like a weird song. It's kind of the opposite of what we're talking about here. It's one of those songs that's sort of out of tone with the rest of the album, but just really cool. So yeah, I love that album. You guys did an episode on it, right? You and Nitty?
Yeah, this album's great. I'm very basic though. I like 21st Century Digital Boy is my favorite song on the album. I'm an entry level Bad Religion fan. While I appreciate the band quite a bit, I don't listen to them very often, and it's not. There's so many other bands that I'd rather listen to because I think I've kind of gotten out of the skate punk style. Mm-hmm. I don't listen to NoFX very often anymore. I don't listen to Bad Religion anymore. I don't listen to Pennywise as much as I want to, and I want to. These are bands I love. I love NoFX. I love Pennywise. I specifically like Pennywise is probably my favorite out of the three, honestly. I even really enjoy The Offspring. I think that they have, if you strip out some of their like sillier songs, they are very much just like a slightly more poppy version of Pennywise. They're incredibly similar sonically, but I didn't mention earlier my favorite Sex Pistols song on that album is probably the opener, dude. That song, God Save the Queen, is still really great. Pretty Vacant's really good. But I think Holiday in the Sun, it just opens that album up so perfectly, man. It's such a great opener. But yeah, Bad Religion, man, Against the Grain. Classic album, dude. I'm a little surprised to hear both of your albums, honestly. I had to pick albums that I don't really listen to much because I typically only listen to albums that are front to back great. I don't like to skip songs. I don't like to build playlists. I like to have albums. And that band, The Bodies, I was mentioning, that I very quickly realized that they're a band that I'm going to be able to buy LPs from and just play the album. I really appreciate when bands do that. Rancid is the main reason that I'm like that, is because Rancid's first few albums I could just play front to back. I didn't have to really skip anything. And it's funny we're talking about this. The Offspring is one that I intended on bringing up, but every album has 2 songs that are stupid, not just one. And so I thought, well. I honestly, if we do this again, I'll probably bring up the Offspring on the next video.
Sure about them because I thought about them quite a bit too but I didn't want to just pick their hits because that's what I would have done.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So that's because I thought because those albums are really strong, but they do take some turns that I don't always like, and so they were kind of a band I thought of. And as I went through, I realized that the ones that had the songs that have more categories on that, I didn't like those albums as much anyway. So. Their strong albums are pretty strong.
I think
overall.
on the next iteration of this, when we do the pick an album, do the best and the worst, I think I'm gonna showcase some Offspring stuff because I think it needs to be said that those albums deserve more respect than they get, man. I think that everything from honestly, even Ignition, and while I don't really like it a lot, it's a great album. And Smash, Ixnay on the Hombre, Conspiracy of One, Americana, dude, those albums are good, dude. I don't understand the hate other than that they're super famous and punk rockers don't like that. Anyways.
I saw them about 3 months ago and it was the second time I'd seen them. It was one of those things where I can't tell you if they sounded good because all you could hear is everyone next to you singing every one of their songs.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? And it's cool that they have so many. I can talk crap on the hits. They have so many of them though that they have to work to sneak a deep cut or a current song into their set.
Right.
Because, there were songs. It was one of those bands that there were songs they didn't play that people were disappointed that they have.
Most of their hits I actually like quite a bit. It's the later hits I don't like. It's all the silly stuff.
It's those tippy top hits that they cut. But I think
Pretty Fly for a White Guy, I absolutely hate that song.
Even seeing their set though, the songs that they really highlighted were the hits that everyone loves. It's a lot of the hits from Smash, some of the ones from Americana that people really are into. I think they know their fan base, but I mean it's a big fan. There was a lot of parents there with the multi-generational Offspring fans.
Ixnay on the Hombre is probably an album that could have fit on this list. I think that album is super underrated and it's pretty good all the way through. It doesn't have a song that pops out in your head as a shitty song, whereas most of the records you go, oh no, it's this one. I wanted to put a Rancid album on here. I just couldn't, bro, because it was either I love the whole album or it was there was a couple of songs I didn't really care about. And I didn't want to talk about 2000 because I don't care enough. So I was but I'm going to get equal amount of crap for this pick here in a little bit. So moving on to my next pick. It is the punk rock album that broke punk rock albums in 1994, Green Day's Dookie. This is often cited as another album that is perfect. 10 out of 10, no skips. Dookie is the best. Blah 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 blah. Boom. No, thank you, sir. So here's the thing. As of maybe 18 months ago, I have come around on this album a lot, and I used to really like it, and then I hated it for 20 years, and then for some reason, when it started hitting these anniversaries, I started realizing, I still really like this album. I think I just needed to get away from it for a while, man. Sometimes you overplay stuff. I don't listen to Out Come the Wolves every day, but when it hits an anniversary, I listen to it all day. That's what I listen to all day. It's my favorite record. But this album is it's pretty dang good still, man. It holds up. It holds up. And I was reading up on it recently, and I the song that I heard that people weren't really liking was When I Come Around. And people were saying that because it doesn't fit the general feeling and theme of the album. And so I went back and I thought, oh, you know what? That might actually be my pick. So I listened to the record the other day And I was like, no, that's not my pick. When I Come Around is a great song. I really like that song. But Longview absolutely sucks. I hate that song. I hate that song so much. That's probably the reason why I hated this album for all those years. Longview sucks. Anyways. that song blows, dude. Oh, man.
Oh, you got me on that. I was going through this track listing, and I was like, I was trying to find candidates. There was a few. I did not think Longview was going to be where we landed that point.
I hate that song, bro. Hate it, bro. When I gotta apologize to When I Come Around because I almost just defaulted to that song. But no, that song is fantastic and it tells a great story.
Like, I get what people are saying about that not fitting with the rest of the album.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I see that. But like, even like Welcome to Paradise, I was like, look at all the classics that are on here. I was like, no, that's a good song. Basket Case, a good song. She is a song I really love. I think that's a one that people sometimes don't like much. But yeah, dude. Oh, dude, I missed a really good opportunity to shit on All By Myself because that's actually probably the one.
I thought that was gonna be the one. That's
all right. Let me retract my earlier statement.
When we did the episode on that one.
Isn't that a hidden song though?
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm not going to even count it because I didn't even realize it was on the track listing until right this second. So
I was just saying on the inspirational video that Punk Rock Radar did, one of their guys had, and so he noted that song was on the appropriate place on Dookie, whereas he has the other joke song that Trey sings on Kerplunk, or not on the debut album, or whatever. You got mad at this song too when we talked about the album.
Oh yeah, no, it's oh dude,
you're I want to be your lover, man. Whatever that.
It's so stupid, bro.
Yeah, the guy on that show buried that song in the same vein where he said at least the one on Dookie is kind of like the weird song on this big. That was just a regular track on that album. That one just hits you in between good songs.
No, dude, I want to stick with Longview because I really dislike that song, man. I to this day, like, I will skip that song. If I made a Green Day cassette for somebody, I would probably accidentally not even include that song. Like, I'd be like, oh, my bad. I left out the bad song for you. Like, the album is fantastic. It's an absolute classic. But sorry. That song will put me in a funk, dude. Where does it land on the playlist? It's up near the front, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the fourth song.
Yeah, it's the fourth song, dude. Like, I think that's what did it, man. I would listen to the record, and by the time I got to track 4, I'd be like enjoying it, and then the fourth song come on, I'm like, I hate this song. I would just turn the record off and just put it away. Even when it was a CD, I could just hit skip. Nah, I'm just gonna take it out and put in something different.
It's got the long lead up into the song too, because the ending of Chump just kind of goes on forever with sort of that fade out.
Yeah,
and then Longview.
And then it comes in with the stupid bass line. Oh, I hate that song.
That he wrote on acid famously.
What do you like Longview?
I love that song. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, Green Day, dude. They're like, I think Green Day and NoFX might be the two bands that get the most crap and most love on my channel, like at the same time.
Yeah, and like you and I can never not talk about those two bands. I feel like everything comes back. Like
and Rancid, dude. Those three bands changed our lives, though.
But like Rancid is, I feel like there's this reverence that we speak of Rancid for, where it's like Green Day and NoFX. We're always just kind of talking, and then I think there's a lot more criticism of those bands from other people, though, too. Like people have criticism of Rancid, but they don't necessarily throw them our way. Whereas NoFX and Green Day are just a little more polarizing for different reasons within there, and it's. I think we've done like 5 episodes on Dookie, and it's funny because like I've always liked Dookie, but since knowing you, it's like how you said you've grown in it. That's kind of in the time frame that we've known each other. I have listened to this album. I'm so familiar with this album now. Just I think as a result of knowing you, a known non-big fan of this album, which is just funny.
Isn't that weird, bro? And it's funny because like recently, and I'll say like in the last couple of years, maybe less than that even, I've gotten to where I hear it and I get all nostalgic. Like, I probably wouldn't feel that way when I heard Longview. I'd probably still be like, roll my eyes. But I don't know that I still wouldn't at some point in that song hum along to it because I kind of can't help it. Like, may not like the song, but there's a lot of songs that I don't like that I know the words to. So, yeah, Longview. Moving on.
Well, That's almost a perfect segue for multiple reasons. So I would try to do a little bit of nonverbal communication here. I tried finding a song from this album. I really did.
I was wondering if you're going to pull it up.
Yeah. Um, I was tempted with the Quas because that's always the one that I'm like, okay, that's just, it's not really like a real song compared to the rest of it. And then maybe I thought with My Heart Is Yearning, and I listened to it and started laughing at it. So it was like, okay. And here's what I found difficult. So obviously we're going NoFX next. That's where I'm going. Um, Here's what I found weird about it. So like, uh, they have like some of these jokey songs that I think are easy ones to put on this list. However, many of those jokey songs are kind of classic songs, and they do even if I don't love them all, they just very much fit NoFX, fit the albums. So it's hard to say like, oh, that's a crappy song. It was just kind of what NoFX does. And then like again, the other one, there was one on So Long and Thanks for the Shoes. Turns out, didn't know it. The French song is a cover. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's that one song I don't like on that album. I went through White Trash and I was like, no, there's like the 5 songs I love and the ones that are okay, so that it really qualify. War and Errorism, Pump Up the Volume, Wolves and Wolves Clothing. Couldn't really find a song I really was just like, no. So then I was like, let me get a little bit old, and I was like, and then it snapped. It just clicked last night. So I got to take out again another classic, early NoFX.
Oh, that's my favorite NoFX.
I think where I'm going with this, can you guess where I'm going to go with this?
No.
All right. Together in the Sand.
Huh?
No, Together in the Sand.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's a pretty stupid song.
Yeah, and it's stupid even by NoFX stupid standards. Like I would like if I could make a playlist of stupid bad NoFX songs, and it'd be one of my favorite playlists that I would have. Like I would listen to that, and it would be fun. And I would still skip Together in the Sand. I just think maybe because first of all, and it's not his fault. And that was Steve who sang on it. If it's gonna be a jokey song, I like Fat Mike is funny. Everything he sings is funny. Even when he's singing serious stuff, he's funny. I don't know what it is. He's like, there's just something funny. And then Hefe is like comedic in the way. I think Hefe is actually literally a comedian. Like that's one of his side gigs. Not even kidding. So he's funny and he does all those impersonations and this. So this is just kind of generic, and it's bad. And the joke is like, yes, there's a lot of lame jokes, but it's like I don't even laugh to it. And again, I think Ribbed is pretty much a classic. I think again, what's everything other than that debut album, once they got going. And I really think, looking at it, Moron Brothers, Green Corn, LA, just the flu.
Dude, LA is so good, bro. Green Corn is so good. I love that album. Oh, I love it. I'm a play that record tonight.
Album. Again, a frequent spinner over here, except for when we get to Together on the Sand. It just it makes me mad in the way I think like jokey songs make you mad. Like
they drive me nuts, bro.
I feel empathetic towards your position on that when I hear that song.
I hate jokey songs. They drive me nuts. They're stupid and they're unnecessary. Like just make a comedy album so I can just skip it. I don't have to listen to it. Like I hate them. I hate when NoFX does it. All the songs that NoFX has that I don't like are their silly ones. Even when they're kind of like still kind of serious in tone, but they're like either they play it silly or it'll be real fast, but it's like a real silly lyrical song. I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? I don't like when they bring the trumpet in the songs. I hate that. I don't like their ska stuff at all. I just don't. I want fast, intricate, fast NoFX songs. They've got very melodic, fast, sort of even heavy songs. Like that's the NoFX I like. I have come to the conclusion that I am a 50-50 NoFX guy too. I like half their songs, but the half that I like, I'm like ride or die on them. You can't get much better than that. But there's other chunks of these albums, like they've got like a 5 record run where I pretty much it's unstoppable kind of, right? And then you also have Ribbed, right? I don't like the 90s stuff like everybody else does. I don't care about Punk in Trouble. It's a good album. Okay. I've even listened to it recently. It's a good, I would say great album. It's just not one that I personally really rock with. It's really Pump Up the Volume and then all the way up through probably Coaster that I think are the best that they've ever done and the best they could do. I don't think you can get better than those records. It's an unpopular opinion. People think that punk and Drublick's their best, and that's fine. I'm not going to say it's not great because it is. But man, just as far as songwriting, lyric writing, production, you get the whole package with those other albums. But yeah, dude, that song is a pretty bad song. You are correct, sir. That's one that I forgot all about that song. You said Ribbed, and I was like, what song is it? I thought you were going to say Green Corn, and I was like, please don't say Green Corn.
No.
And
Green Corn's what makes you excited for the rest of the album.
right. Well, let's just keep it rolling then, because my last pick is also NoFX. Let me look something up real quick, because yeah, before you guys get super duper pissed at me.
For the record, he's endorsing this opinion, not me. I'm just gonna sit back and mind my
Oh,
own
here we go. I am probably gonna get a lot of flack for this one, but let's see. I did write some notes down. What? Yeah. What? Okay. I was making sure I knew the year, because I thought I did, but I was. Let me double check before I say something stupid, or stupider than what I'm fixing to say. The Decline. This album is garbage, dude. It's so overhyped. It's so pretentious. And it's just like 5 songs that they didn't decide to put a freaking second space in between. It's ridiculous that people suck this album's dick so much. Like, I don't get it, man. I will say, I want to end this conversation in a moment, like in a minute, right? With some positives, because I don't want to end it on a bad note. I want to end it on some positives, speaking specifically about The Decline. I do have some positive things to say about it. Those will come last, because I want to complain about this for a minute, dude. I don't get it. I don't understand why everybody loves this record so much. I don't think it's some amazing feat of like musical, ingenuity. I don't think that they came out, and I can't remember what their reason for doing this was. I think it was like Crass or somebody did some really long song or something, and they were like, well, we can do that. It's like, why? Like, especially when it came out, CDs were what we were listening to, right? How do you even get to your favorite parts on this album if it's on a CD? They didn't have the courtesy to at least maybe you leave out the spaces, but you put in the tracks so I could at least skip around. No, you got to listen to 18 minutes of bullshit. Like, I hate this record, dude. Like, look, punk rock songs are supposed to be 2 minutes. They're not supposed to be 18 minutes, bro. The outro on this song is the length of a punk rock song. What are we doing, guys? I hate it, dude. You know what? Hold on. I wrote some shit down. Give me a second. Like, this album, I had to listen to this shit twice. You know how pissed off that made me? Dude, I love you guys, the people watching. Clearly, I had to listen to shit twice. I didn't have to. I could have just not. But so I put, starts off, I'm just going to read my notes because it's just so stupid, because I was so irritated by the end of it that it was just like shorthand. I was just like, starts off sounding like classic NoFX, but it also just sounds like a lesser Pump Up the Volume, which I think is super accurate. Around the 2:20 mark, the music, it just stays the same, but the lyrical subject just changes abruptly. Why? Why do we do that, guys? How come the music still sounds the same, and then the whole entire subject and tone just goes, but the music doesn't change? Mike, I'm talking to you, buddy. What's going on? Look, if I ever get Fat Mike on this channel, I assure you I will bring this up. I promise. I am not scared of that guy. Also, he's kind of a dickhead sometimes, so I think he might roll with it. Shout out Fat Mike. He's awesome. Like, legitimately, I love Fat Mike, but like, he's kind of a turd. He's been rude to me a few times. Feels like a giant bowl of stuff. It's just a mess. It's like constantly changing and going back and then changing, but not really changing and kind of changing. The lyrics will change. Dude, the lyrics, it sounds like he just took a big page out of his like diary or notebook or whatever and just went, here's the lyrics for this song. It's like 3 days of my thoughts, but it's not cohesive at all. It doesn't, like, I can't follow along. And maybe just maybe it's a user error. Okay, I can accept that. But my opinion is still my opinion. So like, whatever. I just don't care for it, man. Around the 350 mark is when it slows down. It's just not my style at all. I hate that when they slow the songs. I hate that sound of their music. 421 is where song 3 starts. And then I put, the slow parts are just not what NoFX does well. Please stop doing this. Like 615, that's where song 4 starts. I hate when NoFX uses horns. I put that in here too. Just about the halfway point in, and another song starts. Just don't know why they didn't just make it an EP that it is. And dude, I was so irritated. And then I put like, look, I'm just a curmudgeony hater. It's okay. I put that in my notes. At 9:45, I put, I hate Tool. Also, this is track 5. Like, then we get an interlude at just over 11 minutes. Just make it separate tracks, dude. What the fuck, dude? This is a ridiculously long, stupid intro. What are we doing here? That's my notes. Oh, and then I got some things that I wrote that were positive. I need to stop for a second. I'm super irritated just thinking about the song. What's the deal, Rob? How wrong am I? Like,
you have an opinion, and it is your opinion, and no one can argue that your opinion is not your opinion. So like I've always been empathetic to your Decline take, because I've always liked the Decline, and I do consider it like a masterpiece the way that they do. But it's always been, I always felt like it takes a very specific situation and mood and all kinds of stuff to actually just listen to the dang song. It's like the equivalent of like one of the like 4-hour movies that's really good. Like it's good, but you're only gonna maybe watch it like 3 times in your life because it really just kind of takes a lot out of you. Now,
that was an incredibly valid point, though. I agree with that.
I have though. You ever do that thing where you experience the thing in person, and then you just kind of keep experiencing it after to try to recreate that moment, and then so you just kind of become a fan of that thing that you were doing?
The Descendants live show, every time I hear them now, I think of that experience. I don't know if that's the same thing you're talking about, but like 100%. Now, whenever 100%. I hear the Descendants, I think of watching Bill Stevenson play and watching Milo come out with this like water bottle thing on like a shoulder strap and being like, what is he doing? But then like it just kind of like click unlocked it for me, and I was like, oh. And on the same note, I do have to say I watched NoFX play their last show in Texas, and they played the Decline, and I would be lying if I said I didn't get a little emotional, not necessarily because of the song, but because of the moment in time, and because this was their last show in Texas, and this was their last song, and it happened to be a song that I historically didn't like, which I found kind of hilarious and ironic even, because it's like 20 minutes, and I'm like, and then my camera died in the middle of it, which again, ironic. So when you watch my video of that set, it literally cuts off at the end. It wasn't because I wanted it to cut off. It just did it. My battery died, and it was like, nope, I'm done. But you know, I appreciate that it exists, because I think that there's enough people that love this that I'm not the kind of guy that's selfish in that regard. Like I wouldn't take it and get rid of it. That's stupid. I just don't agree with people's take on it. And I think that for a punk band to release an EP, and I remember when it came out, man, everybody was super excited. And I remember, look, dude, here's the thing about music. A lot of this stuff gets remembered incorrectly. At least in my circles, when the Decline came out, nobody was into it because nobody understood it. There was a few people that liked it. There's always the super fan that's going to like it no matter what. But a lot of my people that got that record were like, what? And they like, it sat around in stacks of CDs forever, but it was always on the bottom because it was never the one that got picked. You know what I'm saying? So it never made it to the top of the CD stack because it was just sitting there at the bottom of the CD stack to Decline. And the packaging was cool. I thought the idea was cool. I think even when it came out, I think I was excited about it. I think if I remember correctly, I listened to it and I thought, this is all right. You know, it very quickly became one that I just couldn't handle it, dude. The one song part of it, it really comes down to the fact that there are no places for you to skip it on a CD to where you can find parts about that you like. Because I think when we talked about it last time, there was a few parts on this song that I do like, kind of, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not enough for me to go listen to the whole song. And then there's this long outro, and it just goes on and on and on and on. The outro is like a full minute and a half, man. It's really long. And I'm just like, I don't like outros. I don't like intros. Like, why would I like this song? So it's just a song that has been, you know, crafted in the exact way that goes against my grain. And I just don't like it. And people can love it, and I'm not going to tell them that they're wrong. I just disagree. And so, but saying all that, I do want to say there's a couple things that I do like about the song or the album, whatever you want to call it, right? The bass playing on the album. While I do not like the song in its entirety, there are things, even that part that sounds like Tool. I don't know which came first, by the way. I don't know if
I'm
Tool.
well, no, I don't know.
It was
I'm pretty sure,
similar. It was in a similar
but
time frame.
it's in
So
that
like,
time. I don't think one necessarily ripped off the other.
no, I don't think so either. I just think it's funny that they sound relatively similar, and it's like that's funny because they couldn't be further from each other in style and substance. But the bass playing, while I don't necessarily care for all of it, is pretty phenomenal. I think that the vocal harmonies are very well done. And this just makes me like the song less because I'm like, dude, there's no way I can just separate the parts I like because it's not divided into tracks. And that's my biggest gripe is if this exact thing was put out with tracks, they could still put it out as one song, The Decline, but it's divided into parts, especially on a CD. You could just go poop, 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 poop. Excuse me. I don't know if they ever even considered doing something like that. But in like a later release, if they were to do that, it might make me like this more. I don't know. But the vocal harmonies were great. I respect what it took to create this. While I don't like it, again, I have to keep saying that because I don't want people to think like, oh, yeah, you really actually do kind of like. No, I don't, but I can respect it. What it took to create this was probably very, very labor intensive. It probably was stressful. The last two things that I'll say about it that are positive are one, playing this live is wild, bro. That's crazy. Like that almost changed my mind when I saw it live. I was kind of shocked when they started playing it. I was like, wow, they're going to play The Decline. I was like, this is crazy. And then I think the most important thing to talk about with this song is the drums. Holy shit. 18 plus minutes of playing the drums and out without making a mistake is crazy. Like, I think Smelly is kind of an underrated musician. I think that people appreciate him when he comes up in conversation. The problem is he doesn't come up in conversation often, and I think that's kind of a crime, dude. I think Smelly is a top tier punk rock drummer, top tier drummer, I guess. But specifically within punk, he's goated, bro. Smelly is amazing. He's so fast and so accurate.
Do we take him for granted? Is that because like everyone, if you were to press them on it, would agree with you, right? Everyone would be like, "Oh yeah, like Smelly's," and because the no effect sound, the skate punk sound, is Smelly. That's what we're always kind of talking about. I feel like when we're talking about that, like the whole thing exists because of his drum style. But I agree with you. I feel like, and maybe it's because does he just not get credit? You think amongst the punk fans or amongst like music in general? Like, where do you think that it's disconnecting?
I think that because he is in a position that is literally behind the rest of the band, that he just gets forgotten about.
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, so I don't agree that we think of Smelly when we think of NoFX's sound, because I think NoFX has the similar thing with Rancid. If you take any part from it, it's going to be messed up. I think that El Jefe, while he wasn't on the first couple of releases, is just as important to NoFX as Fat Mike. And I think that Lars is just as important to Rancid as Tim. And so for that reason, I can't say that I think that we hear it and go, oh, that's Smelly. But I do think it's equal share and possibly a slight bit more even. Like instead of being 20%, it's 25. Like I think he carries a lot of the songs. I think he was professional when not necessarily everybody else wanted to be. So I also think that maybe he could have really just imploded that band a long time ago if he wanted. So I think he's an unsung hero, man. I do think that he gets a lot less credit than he deserves. And in the punk community, it's kind of hard to say because I think if you asked any punk rocker, like, hey, how you feel about Smelly? They'd be like, dude, that guy's rad. But if you asked him how you think about NoFX, I don't know that he would come up. So I guess within punk rock, he doesn't get his flowers really yet, I mean, I often hear about Brett Reed when talking about Rancid, and I'm like, dude, he's not half the drummer that Brandon Steckenard is. Like, Brandon's a far superior drummer, but Brett is who everybody loves, and so, I think Smelly's getting that treatment a little bit. Where people, if you ask about Smelly, they're like, well, hell yeah, he's rad. But if you ask about NoFX, they're going to talk about Fat Mike, maybe even El Jefe, and they're going to leave Smelly out to dry, kind of. and it's a crime, dude. He's amazing, and I think it was kind of the glue that held the band together for a long time.
He's definitely the second half of their career. He's definitely, I think, been the steady force. We should also note, though, he was like the most destructive force in that band for the first 20 years of their existence. Like if anything was going to rip apart NoFX, it was going to be Smelly for that, really until he got clean. Like,
also valid.
That's also
true.
So
also true.
It's like I feel like NoFX has this like self-destructive like title that one member has to wear, and like Smelly for his health and everything had to retire for that title, and he just passed it to Mike, and Mike ran it, the rest of the way down.
Yeah, Mike took that title and made a crown out of it. Yeah, man. The Decline is my last pick for the night. People are gonna disagree with me. I know that. I don't. Whatever, man. Just let me know how wrong I am in the comments. But
that song though, I had a similar experience to you. I saw their last show in Denver, and it started raining again during when they started playing The Decline, and it was like because the person I was there with kind of hung back, so it was just me and a bunch of strangers in the rain, pretty intoxicated, like kind of singing a lot. It was a cool like it's the kind of moment that I don't think punk rock generally yields, like the kind of music moment, just because there's not a lot of music that's quite like that. So it was a really cool way to just sort of like say goodbye to NoFX. And then I will say too, two of my favorite YouTube videos that I watch all the time are The Decline at Red Rocks with the orchestra, because I just think that is phenomenal. I love to see the construction of all that. And then every now and then I'll pop on the last song NoFX ever played, which is The Decline, with everybody in it. In particular with that performance, I love when the Less Than Jake guy hits the saxophone part towards the end. I don't know why, something about the way he hits that and the way the cameraman just kind of caught that just really, it was just like a cool piece of art. And it's from that song.
I've watched that performance like once or twice. I've never seen the one with the orchestra. That might actually change my mind a little bit. And look, dude, if I'm being honest about this is just me being like cheeky. I don't listen to that often because I don't actually like it, but I don't really. It's hard to find like punk music that I actually hate. Like it's very rare that I don't actually hate Longview. I don't actually hate The Decline. I kind of do. I'm trying to not be a curmudgeonly old shit, but I think I am.
I actually hate Together in the Sand. The other two I don't. Well, no, maybe the Ramones song I don't actually hate. Of my three.
It's you know what it is, dude, is that like I don't actually hate it until it comes up in conversation, and then people start telling me how great it is, and I'm like, dude, stop it. It's not that great. And I think The Decline, while difficult to make, maybe difficult to play live for sure, it could have been. I think it could have been much better. I think that NoFX has the talent to make that song quite a bit better, but people are going to tell me it's some kind of perfect magnum opus here in the comments, and I'm going to be like, sure, whatever, dude. Like, I don't care, man. Like, I mean, you know what? I almost brought up Rancid, and I think if we do this again, I probably will bring up a Rancid album because I want to hear people's response to my thoughts because I wonder if anybody agrees with me. So maybe I'll do that in a future video, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. Man, do you have anything that you want to listen to or anything that you want to like cover on the channel?
Nothing off the top of my head. So
okay. I'll come up with a couple of things then because I got plenty of stuff on my like list of things to cover, but I always want to just occasionally check in and make sure there's nothing that you're itching to listen to. This year's been a great year for new music, man. Because dude, people forget we're 11 months into this year now. There was music in January that I knew was going to be on my top 10 of the year list. So we're coming up on that video in the next 6 weeks or so. Top 10 of the year, man. Like it's actually going to be more difficult than I thought. Yo, there's a band called No Time. They just put out an EP. Man, I didn't think that band could really get better than they were, and they're really good live. Holy crap! It's 4 songs, and it's like top tier. Every second of that EP is freaking perfect, dude. Shout out to TKO for being the ones that put that out. I got a little jealous when I heard it. I'll be honest. I was like, "Ooh, I wish I could have put this out." It was fantastic. And also, everybody's watching. Keep an eye out for Vile Enemy. I got a cassette tape coming out soon. We just passed 20 releases. They'll be our 21st, and I just updated the logo to be a new logo. I'm really happy.
That looks cool.
Dude, it looks awesome, bro. It fits my personality.
Put it in, yeah. I like that.
Yeah, dude. I just one day I was looking at this like somebody else's artwork and the Anarchy sign, and I was coming to this realization that this fits my personality more than I thought, and And I thought, I could probably make that a logo of some kind. And then I thought of just making an Anarchy logo shirt just on the chest or something. And then I was just looking at it and I was like, no, this needs to be a new updated like 31 Records logo. And I sat down and started drawing. And I was like, all right, this looks good. And then I actually used the actual drawing. That's why the lines are all wonky, because I drew that circle. So like I actually drew the logo by hand, and that's why it's not perfect, which I kind of like about it. But yeah, man, we'll be back in a couple of weeks talking about some more music. I don't know what off the top of my head. I'll come up with something over the next day or two, and I'll shoot you a couple of ideas. Do you want to go back to doing a couple of records, or do you want to do something more fun like this?
Let's do another one of these.
Okay, so you want to do like pick 3 albums, do worst and best?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Yeah, let's not do Out Come the Wolves. Let's not even talk about that album because, or do you want to? I guess we could. Because I feel like either both of us are going to want to do it or both of us are going to skip it.
So let's just plan on talking about the topic with that album. Like we'll have our 3, and then we'll just sort of apply that frame to.
So 3.5. I got you.
Yeah,
that makes sense because I already have another Rancid album that I want to talk about as well. Yeah. So that can lead into that. So yeah, cool. So next time you see us, we'll be doing 3 albums a piece again, from first to worst on those albums. So we'll give you guys the better songs that we like, according to us, of course, and then the songs that we dislike. And you guys can tell us how stupid we are in the comments, and we will just go, thank you. So awesome, man. Good talk, dude. This one went by quick, man. Once we got going, it worked good. Thank goodness, because you had some technical difficulties tonight. It could have gone real long. Hell yeah, man. I'm glad to see you, Rob.
This was fun. This was a blast.
That was a good episode, man. That went by quick. I got some notes on here too, so I can chop it up and make some little shorter videos. Maybe people can adjust them a little easier. But I'm just gonna put like the worst song on the Ramones record, or something super irritating, something super like inflammatory as the title.
I think you're gonna get some views on these. This is more like real YouTube. Normally we're having like these fun, deep conversations. This is more like that sort of junk food YouTube content. That's why I wanted to do it again. It's like, oh, it's kind of fun.
It kind of is. That's why the shorts are doing so well, because it's exactly what it is. It's like junk. Let's see. I just put up a short before we got on here tonight. Let's see here. It's not doing crazy good, but it's got 100. Well, it's not too bad for 45 minutes. It's got 150 views, but it's not. It's also not the same kind of video I've done. I changed it up. I did like a little that Motorhead tribute album. I got like early access to it. I got to listen to it all.
Yeah,
man, it's got some pretty good songs on there, man.
The purple album. It's got like that purple cover.
The Rancid song. It took me a few listens, but once I got into it and realized what the lyrical content was, I really liked that song a lot. Those dudes never miss, man.
I didn't care for Pennywise's Ace of Spades too much. I didn't love that.
So here's the thing. I didn't care for it either. And then I listened to it at home on my speakers in here, and it was like 10 times better. I think it might depend on what kind of stereo you're listening to it on, because it sounded way bigger and meaner in my house than it did in my car.
Yeah, I only listened to it on the crappy AirPods, so I bet you if I listened to it on something.
Yeah, if you listen to it on your stereo somehow, you might dig it. But yeah, I was a little surprised to even see them on there, because I knew Pennywise has a particular sound, and I don't know that they can do Motorhead like Motorhead. But I'm going to do a track by track review of that at some point. So. But yeah, I'm doing a stream tonight and a stream tomorrow, and I'm streaming this event on Friday, so I got a lot of streaming to do. Nice. Oh, dude, last thing before I go, man, and this pertains to people, people might want to hear this, but I went out last night to see this band called Chain Cult, and they're from Greece, and I was so sad because there was like 20 people there, man, and they're a great band. And then I got to stand right next to the stage, watch them play, and they are so good live. I mean, they just sound really good live. And I thought, man, these people are going to be wishing they had seen this show. I filmed it, so it'll go up on the channel. But like, man, people are going to wish they had seen that, man. When that band inevitably gets bigger, because they're a good band, they're going to be like, dang, I should have went to that show in Houston because there was nobody there. It was crazy because whoever booked it did a terrible job. They didn't promote it very well. And the bands that they put on with them didn't really fit the mold. So, but anyways, check out Chain Cult, guys. Go support that band. They're really good dudes. They're very nice guys. But all right, Rob, I'll see you in a couple of weeks, brother.
All right.
All right, everybody. Later.